We're in.
The voice of domestic workers. What is the voice of domestic workers? The Voice of Domestic Workers is an education and support group calling for justice and rights for Britain's 16,000 migrant domestic workers.
We are the voice of domestic workers.
We fight for our rights!
We provide educational and community activities for domestic workers, including English language lessons, drama and art classes, and employment advice, and provide support for domestic workers who exit from abusive employers. Our work seeks to end discrimination and protect migrant domestic workers living in the UK by providing or assisting in the provision of education, training, healthcare and legal advice. We wish to raise awareness of our campaign to improve the living and working conditions of migrant domestic workers in the UK and to increase respect for the work that we do. As well as speaking out for our rights, we also solve each other's practical problems. We find each other emergency accommodation and pool our resources to provide food and clothing. Together we search for ways to overcome our isolation and vulnerability and demand respect as workers, as contributors to the British economy and society, and as human beings. The Voice of Domestic Workers recognises that it needs support from other organisations, and hence its close and complementary working relationships with Unite the Union, Kalayahan, TUC, Anti-Slavery International, Flex, Migrants Organise, Freedom United, Stop the Traffic, IDWF, EFFAT and many others. We empower migrant domestic workers to stand up and voice their opposition to any discrimination, inequality, slavery and all forms of abuse. We show that we are stronger together. Dignity at work. The Voice of Domestic Workers.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the panel event of Anti-Slavery Day by the Voice of Domestic Workers. Anti-Slavery Day is celebrated in 18th October every year, and tonight we are commemorating this important event to raise awareness about modern slavery and human trafficking as part of the work of the Voice of Domestic Workers in combating modern slavery in the UK. All forms of modern slavery involve forced labor. An enslaved person in the world today has one or more of the following characteristics. They are forced to work through mental or physical threats, controlled by an employer under the threat of some form of punishment, dehumanized, treated as a commodity, or bought and sold as property, physically constrained or have restrictions placed on their freedom of movement. They receive little or no pay for their work, or work to repay a so-called debt to their perpetrators, even they had no say in agreeing this debt. And here with me tonight, I am delighted to introduce to you the fantastic members of the Voice of Domestic Workers, my colleagues. A new member and an uprising public speaker and active member of Voice of Domestic Workers Welfare Working Group, Miss MQ. We can't hear you.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, and a new member and very active on social media, and she is a member of the trade union working group, Christina.
Hello, guys. Good evening.
Thank you. A new member who loves representing Voice of Domestic Workers in various events, as long as she's free and a member of the trade union working group. Let's all welcome Rowena.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Nice to be here.
Wow, trade union are so active. And of course, we also have the two leaders of the working groups. We have from the fundraising working group, Gigi.
Hi, good evening. Hello.
And of course, from trade union working group, Grace.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Ladies, thank you for your time tonight. I know it's you're all from work. We aim to shed light on modern slavery. Everyone is talking about this. But how much do people truly know about this issue? Slavery that has been abolished is actually well alive in the work conditions of domestic workers, and the more modern it became, the more unseen and invisible it is. I'll start this with a question. My question is, what is it like to be in a slavery situation? Who wants to go first? Mary Queen?
Yeah. Based on my experience, I feel that I feel down because of I suffer for a verbal abuse from my employer, and except for verbal abuse, I'm working for more than I'm working 24/7 and no salary.
How about you, Wena?
As like everyone else, me too. I suffered from so much emotional trauma. Yeah, and working for so long that the salary is not even enough for you to support your family back in the Philippines. Yes, as well the physical that caused me so much trauma in and out of my whole system. It's been you don't have peace of mind for the how many years of my life in Middle East. Yeah, that's still now we're recovering from that suffer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Christina?
For me, I feel like when you are feel that you are trafficking, because I suffer trafficking and verbal abuse and abuse from my employer. I feel that when you go in the trafficking, that you don't know where you will go. You don't know how you cope that situation, and then you don't know where you will get the trust, because you don't know where you will go. So you don't know what happened to you. That is the first that you will feel when you are trafficking and being abused, and as slavery. You feel like mentally you have your mental disorder when you're too much thinking for this one. But being now, I feel now I'm more comfortable because of the voice of domestic worker. One of this one is giving you a chance to forget, or like counseling for each other, the members, like this one.
Thank you. Grace, you want to say something? You want to answer the question? Everyone knows your story, but you want to share more?
Well, about the slavery in the situation, all of us, we are already been there. Because if you are in that situation, no one knows on that four corner of that room. it's more likely mentally, that they said it, mentally abused. And you just asking yourself where I'm going, where I'm going to seek help, because if you are alone, you don't know. In that situation, you in one country that you don't know anything, and that situation, it looks like you first thing just pray. I think it's pray is more powerful. And I think also it always be positive, that in any ways you can get out of that horrible situation.
G, you want to add more? Marigold?
Sorry, because I think I don't hear your voice, Well, anyway, as for me, I think the isolation, because it's just it's like the of course, aside from the abuse that you experience with them, of course, the isolation, being isolated with, of course, just only your employer, and you don't know who's you gonna to talk to your problem, or your situation. I think that's a greatest, like a big problem and in the part of domestic workers, because we experience a lot of things like those, of course, verbal abuse, the treatment, like the long hours work. But I think your thinking is being isolated is, I think, is really hard, as for me in my part, because you don't know where you ask for help, you don't know you're gonna talk to someone. It's like it's nobody can help you. So I think that's the thing, that's the hardest thing for me as being a domestic worker.
Mhm. I have a follow-up question on this. When you were working in these abusive employers, during those times, do you already have an idea that what you are experiencing there is already a slavery situation, that you are in a slavery situation during those times?
Of course.
Yes.
Of
Yeah,
course.
so you're aware that you are already in a slavery situation.
We are
And
aware, but the thing is, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
That is, we, as Gigi said, is
Yeah,
isolated,
yeah.
there. So even you want to get that out from that situation, where you going to seek help? That you don't know anyone outside.
Yeah.
That from that moment we know already, but we don't have any
Idea.
way. So you stay. Even you know that you are already they are already abusing you. What can you do then?
and then because all of us here um um escape from our previous employers. Did you know that um is there something that is there anything that, or did you think that you would be able to survive when you escaped, or who you seek help when you escaped?
Hmm.
Well,
Who wants to answer it?
Who wants to answer? I think the new one answer first, and then we can follow.
Christina, I will go with Christina. um did you ever think that you would be able to survive and escape? Do you, when you were in that situation, do you ever think that you would
Mm,
survive, escape, or oh, and when you escaped, when you managed to escape, who you ask first, who you seek help?
for me, when I escape, nobody knows, because in that situation that you don't know where you will go, I have only idea that I want to go, because the from the time that you feel that it's too much and you have time to escape, I right away like you want to go far from the house that you are working. But when you go far away that in the house, you feel like where you will go. I pray only who will see me a Filipino who will I meet, and then I don't know if she will help me because I'm not allowed to talk to anybody when I'm here. So I don't know if the one I will talk will talk to me. So when the time that I escape and I meet one Filipina that helped me to see the voice of domestic worker, that is the one I feel that I can survive. I feel I will survive this one.
Yeah, thank you. Miss MQ, did you ever
For
think that you would be able to survive?
no, I never thought that I can escape, I'm going to give up already for what I suffer. But I'm just thankful that one of my friend meet one of the member of the Voice of Domestic Worker, and they say to me that they meet one of the member. Then I had that encourage and hope that I will deal that will us it will can escape in our situation, and we have a positive thing that they will help us even we doesn't know them, but for us is we want to escape and trust these people. That's why we are me and my friend was um, be a stronger and to fight for everything until we escape for our employer.
Rowena, you want to add more?
Yeah.
You are on mute.
Oh, yeah. For me, at first, I'm very clueless because I really don't know what will happen to me outside. And I don't know if someone is still following you, and because of the threaten that they always, you know, that someone may grab you in the street. You're really out of your mind. You're like, I can say you're being so crazy. We're thinking so much that was back up your mind, and you can even think even for yourself that how can you survive it and continue your life. And yeah, for trusting people too, it's really hard nowadays because so many people now is abusive still, and that's why we're very thankful that someone just God gave some instrument for us to meet us, and they're willing to help us to do what is right and fight for our rights. Yeah.
Thank you. My next question is, I hope you don't mind if I want to know your participation in the Voice of Domestic Workers. Uh, can you share something about your participation to be part of the ODWG?
Well, for me, you know what? I've been very active with the voice since 2015, and I've seen the challenges, everything, how the voice transform being being before it was justice for domestic workers, and then become a charity, became charity. And what I for me be the empowerment, the encouragement, and the education, the training that they provided me for who I am now. I think you know before I don't have the confidence, I don't have the knowledge, the courage, the bravery, and everything.
But throughout the years, I evolved into something, very strong woman and everything, standing for what is right, fighting for everybody. I think that's the best thing that, you know, that I like to share to, of course, to everybody, the members, and, and the participation. Of course, I've been a lot of like joining the future voices, a lot of training, like I've told you. So I think this is really, a powerful tool to equip, it equip me and, give me more knowledge and everything, the skills. And by all this knowledge and skills, of course, you share to your fellow domestic workers, help them. I think that's the best thing.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
for me.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You want to add something, Gracie?
Well, as Gigi said, I known the boys for 7 years, but before that, I've been here for a long time, around 6 years or 5 years. So first, I didn't know about the boys. So it means you're from the isolated going to another isolated. The feelings that you don't have any freedom every time that you have a fear. But when I joined with the boys of the luckily, yeah, someone will going to introduce me. As Gigi said, we are being active since day one when we are joining the boys, like workshop, yeah, education, yeah, and yeah, we are also how do you call it, in a public speaker. We've been a lot of that is the most that I like it, that I enjoy it, that I go everywhere, that I didn't even in my life that I didn't know that I can go there first in parliament. Every different organization, charity organization we join, we've been there, and there their views and our views, I think it's the same, but it's we going to add another knowledge to put up in our organization. As Gigi said, we're going to pass down what we learn uh, in the new ones, coming new ones, just share our knowledge. But education is the first one that you need to know, because if you know you're right, if you know everything, even the prime minister standing in front of you, you can face them without worries.
Yeah. That's good. I can relate it. To Gracie, I think just like you, I didn't expect that I will reach this far. Not even in my dreams when I was in the Philippines, that I can go in the parliament, that I can
Yeah,
meet the previous prime minister,
yeah.
that I speak in the parliament, all these things. Yeah. So it's good. It's a very good experience though. With Miss MQ, I have a question for you. On finding the voice of domestic workers, does it help you overcome some of your worries? Not all, not everything, not all of your worries and traumas, but just even some of them. Does it help you to overcome them? We can hear you.
Wait,
Yeah, since I found that the charity, the Voice of Domestic Welfare, it's
Sorry,
carried me. It's
sorry, MQ.
courage.
You're echoing.
Oh,
I think
Mm.
Ro is
When I close it,
echoing.
it.
It's
tanga.
okay.
Ah, okay. Since I found the charity, the Voice of Domestic Welfare, it encouraged me to more stronger and don't lost hope. And I feel that I found the new family, and also that it make me more say to myself that I need to challenge more, and I experience more activities like attending event that I never experienced, and I never thought before that I can do that. And now I'm helping also some of the new member to go for the registration. Before, when I first come, I don't know that thing because the member of the voice was with me on that time to go to the GP, to go to the embassy. And now I never think that now I'm the one who go for the new member for help them. And I want to know more and to experience more. Yeah.
How you feel about that, Mary? That you are the already the one bringing these new members. That you already like you are doing to them what the old members did to you. You know what we've done to you. You're already doing it to the new ones. How do you feel about it?
I feel that and then I still now I can't believe that I'm helping for them. But I'm so happy that I help also same of me, same what same the member that what I experienced before. Now I'm the one who also helping them. And I want to be continue as the I want to be active as the member of the Voice of Domestic Worker because I want to help more same on me, the victim of slavery. And I want to fight for our rights also.
Thank you. Thank you. With Christina, do we do we help you? Are we helping you in overcoming your worries and traumas? This is
Yes,
like, are we helping you?
yes. From the start, I'm not like this before. When I come there in the Voice of Domestic Worker February, I not talk. I only sit on the side. But when they introduced to me that you don't have to worry and scared, after like 1 week again, and then I come back, you have to talk, and then you have to talk to the one that you don't know, so you will know what is their experience also. And then day by day, and then I always come. I feel that I can do whatever they do also, and then I tell to myself that I can do better than the one I asked before. And now, um, attending the activity or the activity in the Voice of Domestic Worker is more challenging also to me, because before I don't I don't have trust to myself that I can talk in front of more people. But I experienced during the assembly, and then I one of the one talked in the middle of the more people that I don't know, and they are the one who are officers. Then I talk, and then we also participate in all uh, things in the Voice of Domestic Worker. And then now you also not scared to meet police. That is the one meeting police and go somewhere. You can stand by yourself, that you don't have to be scared. You have to stand because you are not the one who's doing wrong. You are one of the abused. So
Yes.
you have the right to walk by yourself. Don't be scared. Now that's why me, I'm not scared, not too much. Because they the Voice of Domestic Worker helped me to be in not scared. You have to fight for your rights.
Yeah, you overcome.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mm.
I have a question with Gigi and Gracie. I have a follow-up questions for one of you. As we all know, you are part of the rescue team. What is your always advising to the new members or new or the migrant domestic workers who's asking for help? The first thing that you advise them before you rescue them or before you help them?
Oh, for me, it's not advice actually. It's I give them assurance that you are out for that situation. You are free. Yeah, put that in your mind that you are free outside. We are here to help in any ways, put to help you. I just how do you call this one? Because if I know that they are in first runaway, they are so much scared. So I want them to calm down. That I assure them that they are in the good hands. They are in the right charity. They are in the right person to seek help outside. No matter what, we're not going to leave you. We're not going to throw you out. Um, just to make yourself comfortable, and just this is freedom. Yeah, start from now. Think that you are free.
Mhm.
So that is only the words that I told them. Assurance. Yeah, after that the advice is coming, assurance first, because we know the traumatic experience from the abusive employer. They just get out, just in that situation, that I know that the words, at least my word is can lessen their burdens, lessen their worries.
Mhm. Thank you. G?
Well, for me, with the you know what, I always, with the new members, when we of course, before we rescue them, we ask their situation, and sometimes what you need to assess and everything. But you know what, the moment that they get out from that situation, like we already rescue them, my I don't I don't usually give them, like advice, but I just advise, like the only thing that I help them and told them about, what we are doing, being with the boys, of course, that when you escape and you're being part of the voice of domestic workers, you need to be active. I always tell them, so that along the way you will learn all your rights. You will learn what you're going to do after that, I think. Because this is the thing, the moment they sometimes, of course, it's part of that, they were scared, they don't know anything. That's why the boys of domestic workers like us provide everything they need in terms of shelter, you know finding them a job and everything, because this is what we do. We are there when they reveal their lives. And you know what, the one thing that really I told them also is, when to give back, to give back to the to the community that who helped them, like also help their fellow domestic workers. Because they need to also to understand that they are in the same situation when they when someone asks them also to help. They need also to help, those domestic workers the way we help them. They need to give back. That's always, this is always that I always instilled in their mind, that giving back to community is, it's like a really important thing, because it's like kindness. And that's what I've always, aside from, I've always been doing that. And of course, it's a good, advice for them to give back. That's I always want to do, those new ones to give back. That's it. Just that's just only
Yeah.
on my part.
And another thing is, before, if someone ask help from the voice, what we do first is to explain what will happen to them. Yeah, what it will be their situation here in the UK. As we all know that they only have 6 months. Yeah, and they can change employer within 6 months upon their entry. After that, they will become undocumented again. So we really don't convince them to escape from their employer. We have to explain first to them what are the risks and what will be their situation, and it's up to them if they still want to be out. We're only rescuing if the situation is really like life and death. that we really need to rescue the domestic worker. But if not, we really explain to them that this will happen to you. This will now it's up to you if you still want to leave your employer, but you have to think twice, because you will be ended up undocumented if you will not pass the trafficking, the NRM. Is it? With Rowena. Rowena, we're always taking you now, most of to the events. We're always taking you with us. How is it feel for a new member like you? Can't hear.
Honestly, until now, I can't even imagine myself being in that event for like you're facing so many big names in this country, and when you know the feeling that they're coming to you, ask your name, shaking their hands. It's like we never experienced that in our entire life. It's like you're like in a different world, that you can express what you really are. And the education, the speeches, the understanding now, the understanding is more. I can You can understand more because of the events that you're always taking us, and it's really really helpful for us to really understand what the charity really is really doing for everybody, for the domestic workers.
I have a follow-up question for that. How can you contribute to the campaign of the voice of domestic workers, Rowena?
Maybe from my own, maybe when I can share my experiences, my knowledge that I learned from the charity, from the board of trustees, that they're always there, like to give you some knowledge about because this is like a stepping stone for us. And yeah, maybe for volunteering to the other uh, domestic workers that's been trafficked.
Yeah. Because in panel like this is also part of our campaign. Yeah. Christina, to be very first time to be in a panel, to be a panelist, to be in a panel like this, how you feel about it? How what comes to you into your mind to volunteer in this panel event?
For me, I feel that I have the right to talk because based on my experience, I want when I read it, I right away volunteer because I know that I'm the one who experienced for this one. I'm not scared now to tell the truth, and the one I want to be one of the some of the um, abuse abuse OFW that cannot talk. I want to be their voice because
Mm.
based on my experience and some of my friends that I know that abuse, they cannot talk because they are scared.
Mm.
Before I cannot talk, but the time that I understand what is my right, that they are uh, from the abusive employer, I want to talk now because I know that is my right now.
Thank you. Thank you for volunteering. um, with Gracie and Gigi, as the leaders of the working groups, how do you think? What is the best way you think that to protect our fellow domestic workers?
To protect
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is the best way to protect them?
Actually, for me, in my points of view, it's to be educated. Because if you going to let them know what is their rights, they know, education, that you know that what is your right, that is protected already. Because wherever you go, you know your right, as long as you didn't you go in didn't done wrong about the laws here. You are protected. Yeah. And one more thing that I always said it to them, that as long as your goal, your you think about your future, yeah, you have in the right path, I think you are in good situation. Yeah. And beside, just how do you call a model, the one that they said that Christina said, be one a model. Yeah, they can see you, so they follow you. Yeah, that what we with what we doing it in a charity, we lobbying our rights, going everywhere to lobby our rights for this country. And yeah, we just be a model, not be a leader, because we are all same. We're not out. We are not
We're equal.
up, and not, we are not down.
Yeah,
We are
we're
the
equal.
middle. We are, every one of us is the same.
Yeah, very nice, Grace. G, how do you think we can protect them? You're on mute. You're mute. You're on mute. G, we cannot hear you. Marigold, we cannot hear you. Marigold, we cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, now because I'm looking for the mute button. Your question again?
How can we protect them? How can we protect our fellow domestic workers?
Well, I think because you know what, I always tell, especially those who are undocumented, because as for me, before I went to the NRM, so I know I was undocumented for how many years. And I think the one thing is, don't fight to anybody. I always remind them, especially on social media, because really you need to like it's not really nice, because sometimes the effect of when you're fighting with someone else, especially those, it's really affect those domestic workers. That's why protecting them is, I think, they're really important, that they need to be more, like Ate Gracie said, being a model, a model. And yeah, I always told the one that the being like, don't fight with anyone. You need to be, like, stay humble. Because sometimes they, the situation, if especially if you're undocumented, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's really hard. They always, even though you are undocumented, also you need to to know also that, I think, your rights. You don't
Mm-hmm.
forget about, but educating their rights is, I think, that's the most important thing for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have a question from Arlene. She asking, how can you help, or in what way can promote the organization at advocacy? Maybe who wants to answer this? I don't know.
Yeah, uh I think we've been already done that.
Yeah.
We are already in active in social media. we're being in like, well, Instagram, what LinkedIn, social media. We're doing that to spread out our organization, to show them what we are doing in social media, because network now, social media can go anywhere. Recently we are already in the, channel 4. Take note. And they already saw us, and the the views, the post, the like, oh my god, 6 million
Yeah.
views, I think so. That one is the part of our spreading we are doing. Social media is the best thing.
In our situation today, in our situation that we, that all the domestic workers that came here after 2012, how is it for us? Who wants to answer this? Gigi, maybe you. Why is it very important to us that um, for us to have the same rights as the previous domestic workers, the old domestic workers in the old domestic worker visa? Why is it? It is very important to us to have the rights like them.
You know what, Mimi? Since you talk about that, we know all that 2012 they already abolished the overseas domestic worker visa. At that time, they abolished everything, chains of employer, right to settlement, right to renew visa, right, right to British citizenship. They all removed this. This is before all this, before 2012. They have all this, the rights for those domestic worker. But for us, the moment they close, they abolish the overseas domestic worker visa, a lot of domestic workers became undocumented and, subject to more exploitation and everything. So it's really hard, accessing their rights. And until now, it's been 10 years. Like you said, it's a decade without
11,
r-
11,
yeah,
correct?
11 years. Oh, sorry, it's 11 years now without the overseas domestic worker visa. And a lot of domestic workers, forced, to going to the national referral mechanism. And because this is only that they offer now for, temporary protection for all of us. And, the uncertainty in the NRM is like, it's very, it's really hard. The emotional stress, the mental stress, it's all there. That's why it's really important that that's why for almost now like 11 years we've been campaigning, lobbying the government, for the reinstatement of the overseas domestic worker visa. We never stop doing that. And even, it's really hard to win the campaign. We never, endlessly stop, because we want change. We want the domestic workers, to have a better, future, and accessing their, gi- give back our stolen rights. That's why this is the thing that we are doing now, campaigning, lobbying. And of course, I hope that, of course, we're still wishing for the best. I hope next year, with the election coming, we are wishing, we are wishing for the best. No, I just want to be positive. That's why I hope that this is gonna be,
Yeah.
really help us for, for a change. Not, yeah, as for us as domestic workers. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. As you mentioned, the national referral mechanism, uh, for everyone's knowledge, it is the framework for identifying and referring potential victims of modern slavery and ensuring that they receive the appropriate support. So with Gracie, um, because your case, you don't need to talk about your case, but um, how is it feel to be in this kind of system?
This system is not for us really. For just for the clarification. As Gigi said, we don't have any choice to go that national referral mechanism for just temporary protection. But that system, they said that they said that London is more in humanity, but really until now I didn't see that in the government. Where is the humanity that they talk about? Because when they remove the old visa pre 2012, they already make us homeless, you know. They remove us to meet our family, to reunite them. Yeah, it's for me it's so unfair. uh I I came here for work. Yeah, it's not for the trafficking. Because I'm working visa going here inside the London, so it means I'm workers. But they make us is a homeless. They give us a small amount of pieces that we are hungry to take that, but they going to take it away from us. It's really really hard. Oh my God, I'm decayed
As
here.
if, yeah, as if then the to be in a system of national referral mechanism is very frustrating for us domestic workers, because we are not acknowledged as workers, but we are acknowledged as victims of trafficking, which is not supposed to be that way. Yeah. So, and at the end of it, if it's the, and there's really a big problem in NRM. It's very slow. The before they give the decision, it takes years, to the point that the other option of these domestic workers is to be asylum seeker, to apply in asylum, which is uh
Another
another in a
headache.
limbo, to it's really frustrating what we are experiencing at the moment. Anyway, uh thank you. um do you want to add more, if you want to say something more, MQ, Miss MQ? Or do you have message for this anti-slavery day to your fellow domestic workers or to the public, Miss MQ?
We will always fight for our we will always fight for our better system that prevents exploitation or brings traffickers to justice and give survivors the support and that they deserve.
Thank you. Christina?
Ah,
Ah,
message. A
napapaisip.
message. Okay. Message for being slavery. Okay.
Yes.
I think I prefer to have a battle in dangerous freedom than staying in a peaceful slavery
Mm-hmm.
situation. But we have to fight for our rights and not don't let anyone abuse us again.
Okay. Thank you. Rowena?
Mute.
To my fellow domestic workers, maybe this is the chance for us to come all together and to learn and to take action to achieve a world where everyone can have their freedom. Yeah, and to raise awareness of the human trafficking and the modern slavery. To encourage the government, the local authorities, the companies, the charities, and individuals as well to do what they can address to this problem.
Mm.
Thank you. Gracie?
Well, as I always said, yeah, the with the louder voice, yeah, the louder that they can hear us. For my fellow domestic worker that it's been there in the isolated situation, you're not alone. Yeah, it's time for you to come out and just hear your voice, because if you're going to hide, you're being isolated for how many years, you're still just there. So just came out and stand and speak up. Thank you.
Thank you. G.
Well, one word, never give up. Yeah, never give
Three
up.
words. That is 3 words.
Yeah, that's 3 words. Never give up, because I know we've been through a lot of since we started, through campaigning and everything throughout the years. We fight, we never, never ending fighting, but we still here. That's why never give up.
Yeah, we're still standing.
Yeah, never give up. That's all. Just
Thank
only
you.
the best.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you to all our viewers for tonight. Thank you for all our panelists. Thank you for joining us. Before I end this, I have a message for the government officials, citizens, and organizations. We must collaborate to raise awareness, enforce laws, and provide support for the victims and survivors. Together, we can make a difference and ensure a world free from the shackles of slavery. And of course, for my co-fellow domestic workers here in the UK, this is all for you. Rising together, migrants' voices unveiled. In the shadows where dreams quietly sway, migrant hearts share stories, find their way. On this day, we unite, hearts intertwined, survivors strong, resilience we find. Whispers of pain that we often bear, invisible chains, yet we fiercely care. We rise as sisters, embracing the fight, defying the darkness, seeking the light. From lands afar, we've come together, facing the struggle, forging bonds that tether. Stories of strength etched within our souls, rising above, mending the broken roles. In unity's strength, we stand hand in hand, breaking the silence, taking a bold stand. On this anti-slavery day, we proclaim a future where justice reigns in our name. Empowerment grows with our unity, love and hope bloom, setting spirits free. Migrant workers strong, resilient and true, we rise, we thrive with strength anew. And once again, this is Mimi Jalmasco saying your strength is greater than any chains. Stand united, break free, and reclaim your dignity. Thank you and good night.
The voice of domestic workers. What is the voice of domestic workers? The Voice of Domestic Workers is an education and support group calling for justice and rights for Britain's 16,000 migrant domestic workers.
We are the voice of domestic workers.
We fight for our rights.
We provide educational and community activities for domestic workers, including English language lessons, drama and art classes, and employment advice, and provide support for domestic workers who exit from abusive employers. Our work seeks to end discrimination and protect migrant domestic workers living in the UK by providing or assisting in the provision of education, training, healthcare, and legal advice. We wish to raise awareness of our campaign to improve the living and working conditions of migrant domestic workers in the UK and to increase respect for the work that we do. As well as speaking out for our rights, we also solve each other's practical problems. We find each other emergency accommodation and pool our resources to provide food and clothing. Together we search for ways to overcome our isolation and vulnerability and demand respect as workers, as contributors to the British economy and society, and as human beings. The Voice of Domestic Workers recognizes that it needs support from other organizations, and hence its close and complementary working relationships with Unite the Union, Kalayahan, TUC, Anti-Slavery International, Flex, Migrants Organize, Freedom United, Stop the Traffic, IDWF, EFFAT, and many others. We empower migrant domestic workers to stand up and voice their opposition to any discrimination, inequality, slavery, and all forms of abuse. We show that we are stronger together. Dignity at work. The Voice of Domestic Workers.